Hey everyone, welcome to yet another video describing some aspects of podcasting that you will need to know to get started in class. And today, we've covered voice and intonation, we've covered the types of podcasting, and now we're actually getting to the meat of it. We're getting to how to actually record your podcast on a Chromebook. And as you can probably tell on my thing, I'm using a MacBook right now to record, but trust me, and you can see for yourself easily, but everything that I show you today can be done on a Chromebook. Zencaster.com is a website that actually is only available on Chrome. So for you guys, it's obviously works because you guys have Chromebooks. So we're just gonna jump right into it, and I'll walk you through all the things you need to know on how to record. So to give you a brief rundown, right, when you type in Zencaster.com into your web browser, you'll arrive at this. And one thing I like for you guys to notice is that there's a little banner here: unlimited guests and recording time during coronavirus outbreak. Now that's awesome. We all get pro accounts, so you can have as many number of guests, or in this case, your classmates, and you can record for however long you want. Right, so that's fantastic. That's what we want. So what we're going to go here, you're going to create an account. I've already created one, but you're going to log in or sign in, then log in, and you're going to go to your dashboard, and you will arrive at this. Right, you don't need to worry about your usage rates or stuff like that. I have a lot we all have a lot of space. We have a total of 70 plus gigabytes, which is more than enough, because basically, like, how I've discovered is that generally a minute of content is 1 megabyte. Right, so this is a 38-minute episode, a 12-minute episode, 38, 21, 35, so 72 gigabytes. If you think about it, 1 gigabyte is, I believe, 1,000 megabytes. So 72,000 minutes of content. So you'll be set for a long, long time. But in any case, we're interested in creating our first episode. So what we're going to do is click the very obvious button here, create new episode. We're going to name it. So I'm just going to put it test, right? Test with my friends. I don't know. Let's see. There we go. So we're on the recording platform. So you can see here, you can actually see some waves. Look at that. You can still, ooh, there we go. Sorry about that. I don't know if you guys had to listen to that, but so far it's just myself, right? And that's okay. If you're doing a narrative or monologue, or you're recording a little script for yourself, you can just start recording right now. I would say, however, if you have like earbuds, right, or you have like some sort of headphone that has better mic, you can plug it in. It will automatically detect that for you. If it doesn't, you can always go to your audio input here. For me, I'm using my official looking podcaster, the UMC, so I have that set up. I would disable monitor because it will create an echo. You don't want that. You do want to cancel echoes, but that's normally if you're recording with guests. And of course, you want to have a built-in. You want your built-in VoIP. This just means that you can hear the other person speak to you live without any sort of latency. So just these these settings are perfectly fine. And then, yeah, if you're recording by yourself, that's all you need to do. Start recording, say a little spiel, blah, 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 blah. You can see there's little like audio waves forming right there. Hi, my name is David Chan. I'm speaking to everyone here listening to learn about podcasting for your classroom, for your projects, for your own discovery. All right, pretend that's it. All right. Boom. Stop recording. We have our first solo track. And here it's 16 seconds. It's not that much. So you can download it, and it will download as an MP3. And there you have it. In our next video, we'll talk specifically about editing, right? Post production. We'll be using this MP3 file on your Chromebook. It should come up as downloads, right? You should be able to find it pretty easily. But okay, I'm sure you guys are thinking, what if you want guests? What if you want guests on your show? So let's try a new recording, right? This is still in the same project, test with my friends, but now I have a second recording. It's just easier to organize and everything. But now you can invite. Whoa, look at this. You can invite however many number you want. Generally speaking, I would say you should maintain your episodes, and your teacher will mention this as well, have an upper limit of guests or co-hosts or your friends or your classmates on board. But generally 4 people is like the maximum. Once you have 5 people, it's kind of cluttering, right? It's hard to tell who's talking. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of voices that are going around, so it's difficult. Okay, but pretend I want to invite my friend in my class, John Doe. right, at muhsdstudents.org, right? And his name, John Doe. Boom. I don't know if this probably doesn't exist, but sure, I'll send it. It probably doesn't send anywhere. But yeah, so once they can open their email, and then they click on the big link that says click here to start recording, and they'll arrive onto this screen here. Right below my name, it's the same thing. Once their health check is passed, meaning they have decent Wi-Fi and decent latency, it says ready to record, and you can record again with however many people you want. Same thing, you start recording, you end recording. And what happens when you end recording is that you'll have multiple MP3 files for each track. One for me, one for my guest, one for another guest, etc. Which is really great because you do not want every person's voice onto one audio track. Because in case, like for instance, I sneeze, right? I want to edit that sneeze out. But you can't do that if everyone's file is combined. Because if you imagine you sneeze while someone else is talking, if you silence that part, you'll also silence their voice as well. And we'll again talk about this in editing. But you can kind of imagine if you're on one audio track, if you silence your sneeze, you're going to silence their voice as well. But if you have multiple tracks, you can just edit your track that you sneezed, and it will sound as if you've never sneezed before on that track. But that's literally it. This is how easy it gets, guys. This is like Weebly of podcasting. It's super, super straightforward to create your own podcast. And that's it. That's literally it. Once you have your MP3 file, you're done with recording. Now you're moving on to editing. So then thank you guys. It's been a short video. I'm gonna maybe even like tack on this part with editing. We'll have to see. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tack them on. So, you know what? Let's just go straight on into it. Let's go into editing. Let's go into soundtrap.com. So this is the website that you'll be also operating from. Okay, so I'm gonna use my website, my account here. Alrighty then. So you guys go to soundtrap.com and create your own account. Make sure it's free as well. You're just going to use a free account. There's no reason to not have there's no reason to have a pro account. You know, you can do everything you need to do with a free account. So once you do, you'll see that there's a lot of stuff going on here, but you're not really worried about this part. You're more worried about entering your studio. Ooh, I already created some projects here with some friends. So we're going to enter a studio. Ooh, it looks fancy. But yes, again, Soundtrap also works on Chromebooks. So obviously, we're going to be working with a podcast. So we are at our digital audio workstation, or DAW. You'll see this online if you look at podcasts. Oh, what DAW do you use? For us, we're using a web-based DAW, Soundtrap. Great alternative to like a paid version, or even Audacity, which unfortunately does not work on Chromebooks. All right, so let's add a track. Let's play around here a little bit. So, I am going to import file, right? And same thing for you guys, because after you guys recording your Zencastr thing, you will be able to find this on your Chromebook download section or recent somewhere. It's going to be on your Chromebook. You may have to do some digging. But just like an example, we did our test with my friends recording, if you guys remember that, .mp3. And you can see here I did a bunch of other other podcasts here, but we are going to import that, and boom, look at that. It's beautiful. I really like the coloring and the style here. And that's it. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that is what it is. Let's see here. Oh, actually, maybe if I share my audio, it's okay though. We're not, actually, you know what? I'll do that. Apologies for the delay here. But here is your place. And if you have experience with music production, this is very similar. But this is it. Say a little spiel, blah 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 blah. You can see there's little like audio waves forming right there. Hi, my name is Dave. Easy stuff. We already heard it, right? So let's talk about the things that you can do, right? For instance, one thing you can do, there's like little bits of silence at the very beginning. If you don't want that, you can cut it out. And one way to cut it out, you can go to edit. Oh, sorry, you have to first select your audio file or audio track. You're gonna cut or split region. If you cut, it's just gonna delete everything. So, you can also press Control Z to redo your thing or these buttons. But you're gonna select split region, right? And you can select that region, delete it, and boom, there you go. All right, so there are other, aspects of, let's see here. So you can change pitch as well, which is kind of interesting here. This is going to be interesting. So plus 12, it takes some time, but if you want to finagle with your voice, you can also do so. But hear this now.
Blah, 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 blah. You can see there's little like audio waves forming right there. Hi.
Probably not too applicable for podcasting things, but it's fun, right? You can maybe try it out. But and I think your teacher will also provide you once excuse me, once you guys are set for your final project, where you actually get to like complete an entire podcast episode and you want to include background music. Let's say you want to create background music. Pretty easy as well. You add your new track, you import a file. For me, my podcast music is right here. Lee Rosevere, music for podcast, royalty free music. I love Lee. She is a great composer for podcast music. And you will have access to this as well. So, I'm sure you'll have this on your Google Drive. You can download it. It will be on your Chromebook. Again, you import it. For me, for my podcast, I always use this one. I'm Going for a Coffee, number 2 on the 3rd album. So this is the 3rd album, number 2. Let's hear it. Whoa, this is super long. So let's go at the very beginning. Okay, so I'm going to change the pitch back because that's kind of annoying. Let's change pitch back to, so you're going to have to do minus 12 now to get, actually, I think you just go to, I believe if you just go, okay, let's just say you go to plus 1. Make it a little bit higher. I believe this turns it back to plus 1, or maybe just adds additional 1. Let's hear it. Oh, nope. So let's go minus 12 then. Oh, you can also auto tune. That's interesting. I never even realized that, but hey, the more you know. Actually, do you guys want to? No, let's not go too off tangent.
Hi, my name is David Chen.
Okay, you can still hear like a plus a little bit. So I'm gonna apologies here, but minus 1 more just for the sake of it. I want to hear my original voice, please.
Everyone hear this?
All right, so I'm gonna mute this. If you want to mute this, so if you just want to hear this track, you hit this button here, so it mutes that one.
To learn about podcasting for your classroom, for your project.
Okay, it still sounds weird, but whatevs. All right. So also to explain these buttons a little bit, this one solos it, right? So you solo this track. This one just mutes it. So you can mute both if you want. This one will actually record this track. So we don't need to do that because you'll record on Zencastr. And this can just like increase the volume of it all, so this will be louder.
Discovery.
But generally want to keep it normal. This last button we'll visit in a quick short minute. But first, let's look at our intro music. So you can slide this along first. Let's listen to it a little bit again. So you have the intro. I think around there is where I want to have my voice come in. So let's drag it over here. Let's hear it.
Say a little spiel.
Okay, maybe further back just a little bit here.
Say a little spiel. Blah blah blah.
Okay, let's pretend I started that little thing with like, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. It's your host David Chen, all that. But obviously this is super loud, right? It drowns out my voice. So we need to find a way to like have the volume decrease as my voice comes in. And the way you do that is with this button. It's called automation. So you add an automation. You want to add a volume automation. The sweep and pan you'll probably never use. That's more for like music. But for volume, now you have this line. Okay, what does that do? That basically signifies your volume, right? So right here, you can click and it'll add these little like breakpoints. And now you can drag them. So here you can basically visualize that the volume is like this and it'll drop right here. So if you want to hear it, it sounds like this.
Say a little spiel. Say a little spiel. Blah 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 blah.
You hear that it's quiet now. And that's all there is. One caveat here is that you can only apply automation to one track using your free account. And I think that's more than enough. Because if you think about it, like pretend you have intro music and at the very end you have background music, right? Or like outgoing music. You don't need to create a new track for that. Sure, you add a new track. So this is a little life hack here. Add a new track, but then drag it so I can actually explain it here. So drag this, imagine this is your outgoing music, right? Drag this into this track, and now you can do whatever you want to. You can increase it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Haha, you have automation. I just want to hear what that sounds like. Hold up.
David Chen. I'm speaking to everyone here listening to learn about podcasting for your classroom, for your projects.
Okay, it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. But here, if you have outgoing music, pretend this is outgoing music, you can actually also add it in and have automation. So you can kind of bypass that rule of automation here for podcasting at least. Because really, you only need to automate, or in this case, like change the volume for your music, right? You don't need to change for voice at all. And that's it. So with that, pretend this is my finished product. Okay, it's not. But what you want to do now is you want to save your project. And it takes some time. Well, at least, okay, for me, it does. Wow, look at that. Normally it takes a little bit longer. Depending on Wi-Fi, it takes different times. And then what you want to do to create your final product, you want to go to File, and you want to export as an MP3 file. Don't export as WAV because it's a much larger file and you can't send it over Google Drive easily. Because once you have your MP3 file, pretend you export. So let's just say I export. It's going to say the project is being mixed on our servers. Please try again in a minute. It takes a decent amount of time. Generally, for me, it takes 10 minutes, right? You basically what happens is that you send this over to them once you save it, and they mix it on their servers and send it back to you so you can download it. And once you do, you have your MP3 file, and that's your finished product. You don't need to worry about publishing. Your teacher can handle that on their little site. And then that is it. You have created your own podcast. So what we went over today, editing and recording, that basically is like all the technical side of things. And you can tell it wasn't that hard, right? It's like the Weebly, it drag and drop, super easy, super streamlined. So I hope you guys learned something about recording and editing. That about wraps up what we have to know about podcasting in general. Now you can go and experiment. So with that being said, I wish you guys luck for your guys' journey through podcasting. I hope you guys have fun. Hope you guys learn something. With that being said, this is me signing off. Thank you guys once again for listening to me. I'll see you guys later.